I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:30. Roll call, William Johnson.
Here.
Tom Graffinino.
Here.
Lynn Colligan.
Here.
Lisa Kreckler.
Here.
And Phil DiOrio is here. Stephen Kiley is excused tonight. First order of business, I want to have just a moment of silence for Ronnie Siller, who passed away today, the supervisor's wife. All right. First order of business, we're going to review and approve the May 24th, 2023 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have one application to discuss in tonight's work session. Christina, we have no new correspondence. Okay. So this is for a lot kind of across the street from the hardware store. I used to have a boarding house on the lot years ago. There was a fire, burned down. Many years it's been unoccupied. The application before us is asking for I guess a primary apartment and a accessory apartment in the same building. It's located in the Heights. They have public sewer and water. They're here for 3 area variances. The first, and just because there's some discrepancies between the denial letter and the letter we received from the Heights. The first variance is for the primary setback on the alley side. And they're going to have since the alley is considered a front yard, it's a 30-yard setback. They are going to be 14.6 feet into the setback, and that will require a 15.4 foot variance. In the denial letter, it says 14.4.
15.4.
Yeah, 15.4 is what will be required. Then the second variance is from the porch to the front yard. And on there, there's 2 different lines. And if you draw a line straight out from the porch to the property line, it's 21.1 feet. But there is a place where it's actually closer if you draw a diagonal line to where there's a jog in on the property, where it would be the distance is only 17 and a half feet from the property line. And so there it will need a 12.5 foot area variance. And then the third variance is for the accessory structure, the garage, and that will be 17.9 feet from the lot line. And so it's going to require a 12.1 foot area variance. So I just want to make sure those are the numbers that we're going to have in anything going forward here. Does anybody wish to bring anything up at this moment?
I was just commenting on what a nice presentation they did and how aesthetically pleasing
I think it looks lovely.
Yeah,
I think it looks lovely. I think it's a thoughtful design.
It's within harmony of other buildings that surround it.
Yeah, I think it'll fit right in there in the Heights. It'll be very nice. There are a number of things that the Heights brought up in their letter. And I think that maybe, we should just go through them, I think, one by one.
Okay.
Just, I think, to take the time to address each one. The first was that the deed carries a valid use restriction of quote unquote a dwelling house for a private family. And that this restriction cannot be nullified or superseded by a zoning ordinance. And that is all true. I don't, that for me, this is a civil matter. And I do think that the applicant would be well served to get into a discussion with the Heights and get this squared away. I also think, though, that right now, as this iteration of this application here, you could say that it is a private family residence. But I think, going forward, it'd be smart for them to get that squared away. Number two is the basement should never be converted to a habitable space or utilized for business or retail purposes. I'm good with that. I think that it makes sense if everybody's on board with that. The accessory structure should never be converted to habitable space or utilized for business or retail purposes. The one thing I would say is that I wouldn't want to limit it as being used for storage, whether that was, so, but
If
again,
they wanted to convert it to any of that, would they need to come back?
yes,
Yes, I would think so.
absolutely.
So they would have to come back to us anyway. I'm saying, do we want to make it a condition, even though if they want to convert it, they would have to come back here anyway?
And the thing is, even if we make it a condition, they can still come back here. So I'm fine for not making it a condition. If I'd like to maybe hear what everyone else feels on that.
What would the condition be exactly?
We would say that it could not be converted to habitable space or.
It couldn't anyway, because there's already an accessory dwelling unit on it, right?
Right. I mean, but they would have to come and seek some sort of a variance from the law, from the code.
But I'm just thinking like buildings along, the red building where Stars is, they have a basement access that I think they have some business and storage and stuff down there. So is that something we want to actually make a condition at this point? Or if they in the future want to change their plan, they have to come back to us anyway.
Yeah.
And the first plan also said the garage was only a 1-story. And this one, it don't show it on that.
I mean, from what I can see,
It looks, yeah,
when I look at the plan, it is labeled as a 1-story garage on the colorful plan. That's this one here.
all right, long it stays there. I got a line through mine.
So, then we're
Oh, yeah, I see.
talking about number 2 and number 3 here. Do you want to make those conditions, folks, or do you want to just leave those out for now and have it?
Wasn't Stephen saying that the conditions aren't very enforceable sometimes?
But yes. In the end, you can put a condition on and someone can come here to appeal the condition.
Yeah. I don't feel the need, but I'm not opposed to it.
They would
if
have to
people
come
feel
to
strongly.
us
Okay,
at that time.
so we're going to say we're not going to incorporate those then. Is that correct?
That's what I
Okay.
feel.
All right, number 4, let's take a look at that. The loft and mezzanine should be eliminated. I don't feel comfortable getting involved in the design there.
Inside, no.
No.
What was the rationale behind that?
So just so that it doesn't turn into some sort of sleeping quarters up there. I just don't, there's no bathroom up there.
Mm-hmm. Could be a good office, little space for somebody, that's fine, right? Like put a desk up there?
I guess.
TV room.
The thing is that it turns into a 3rd story there then.
I mean, bringing it back to our role as the zoning board, we are literally here for
The area.
the area variance. So in my mind, that's not
Okay,
what we're discussing
okay,
in this application.
okay. There should be no further expansion or accessory living structures permitted on the small parcel.
That I feel is within our jurisdiction.
Yes,
Yes, and that's,
So I would say that, I'm good with that.
yeah.
The one thing I would say is that if they wanted to expand, let's say, the garage within this building envelope, if you look at the the red line here. So you have the garage here. It would be actually possible to do something. But, you know,
Can we say they can't,
Non-conforming.
non-conforming structure, like they can't expand anymore into the non-conforming areas?
okay, I mean, I would be good with that. Len, you
Yeah.
getting all this?
Well, not yet, because we didn't do the checklist yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
All rentals must be for a term of not less than 1 year. Copies of all rental agreements must be presented to POC annually or as renewed.
Is that our
No.
purview?
No, that ain't us. I wouldn't say that's the heights.
Ample drainage shall be designed to eliminate runoff onto adjacent properties and roads, absolutely. If steps are required at the front of the proposed project to allow access to Grand Avenue sidewalk, a license agreement must be executed with the POC. I think that that makes sense as well. They're going to be moving out to their property there. Number 9, the POC-owned roads in the alley should be kept clear at all times. I'm also good with that. I think it's just, you know, good policy because that alley services a lot of places there. Yeah, I feel like and also any damage to the roadways during the project have to be repaired by the applicants at their expense. I think that's all fair. They request that the resolution include the attached heights, construction, and renovation regulations. I think we went down this road once before and we said no to that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's something that the HPOC needs to work on with the applicant. And all construction materials and equipment should be stored on the 5 Grand Avenue property. And I think that's a no-brainer there. I think that's absolutely reasonable.
Because you got a firehouse next.
Yeah, yes,
We'll have to reiterate those once I write the conditions, okay?
okay.
Yep.
And then I know, Punch, you felt strongly that they should have some more parking there.
Yeah, because I thought at least one more parking, because originally their first plan showed a little more parking. Because if, people got guests, you can't be blocking the road outside because you got the firehouse there, and they have minimal parking. They don't have a parking lot there. They have to use the road there to park to get to the fire engines.
Yeah. So,
Your concern was on the alleyway side though, no? Or-
Yeah, that's where they put the extra parking. There's a spot in here. Originally, they had it more parking on one plan, and they took it away. And they did it away because they said they weren't doing a business. They didn't need the parking. But I said, what happened? Usually, most people have 2 cars in the family. You got 2 houses, you got 4 vehicles, you got no one for a guest. Somebody might come for dinner, might come for the weekend,
Okay.
stay with them. I thought they should at least have one more spot.
I think we could require one more parking spot.
For me, I think 6 is ample enough. I also am concerned because it is such a small parcel that it's become a building with a parking lot to it.
But you see, excuse me, they're parking in front of the garage. If the car's in the garage, somebody's going to have to move their car.
That happens though in lots of places.
I know, but.
Walk in a garage,
I will.
go and move the car.
Yeah,
That's
but
just-
you don't have a small alleyway. Usually they back out in the road or something like that, more space to turn around. This is limited space turning around.
My guess.
And you have trucks going up and down the alleys, servicing the other buildings on that alleyway.
My guess is that if these 4 spots are meant to be active, the ones in front of the garage, that the garage won't actively be used for parking. That would be my guess. So that means really we're looking at 4 viable spots at this point.
4, that's
Right.
it. You
So
don't have nothing for guests.
I I would not be opposed to adding one spot there.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, I think there's an argument for the other
Yeah,
side too.
I totally get it.
I do too, especially with the street side and everything else, but,
Lynn, what about you? What do you feel about the
I
additional
don't feel
parking?
that strongly, but I don't want it to look like a parking lot. That's really my only.
Yeah.
Okay, can we get some sort of consensus just on that? I'm in agreement with Punch on the spot, but if the three of you feel otherwise, then we can just say, no, we're not going to require that.
It makes sense. I can agree if you needed to push the group.
All right, Lynn's nudging along with us, so, and are we going to ask for a specific spot for the fifth spot?
Going towards the house.
Okay, so,
You can't go the other way.
So can you give me a technical term for that?
it
it would be moving north.
North.
add one more parking spot north of the proposed existing 4 spots in front of the garage.
Correct.
Okay.
Which wouldn't interfere with either of,
It'll be northeast.
yeah.
Northeast.
Either of the walkways that they have proposed.
No, right.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else have any input on this?
Can you please summarize the points from the heights, which you decided to go with?
Sure, we'll,
We're going to read through those.
when we
after
get to the end, we'll get to that under the conditions, if that's all right, Christine. All right, so we're ready for the check? Checklist, all right. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
I would say no.
No, it's an enhancement, if anything.
I
Yeah.
would say that the structures are in keeping with the
Character.
character of the
The
neighborhood.
heights.
Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance. I'm going to say no on that, because if you look at the building envelope, I mean, you could build a something there, but it's not something I think that would really fit in that spot in the heights.
So the building envelope is prohibitive?
It's,
They're battling 3 front yard setbacks
Yeah,
on a
just trying
small
to find the
parcel.
words for that. So the building envelope is insufficient or prohibitive?
it's oddly shaped.
Sorry.
As there are 3
Yeah.
setbacks?
3 front yard setbacks.
I'm going to say prohibitive unless you guys give me a better word.
Leave it to the attorney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether the requested variance is substantial, I would say that all 3 variances are substantial.
Yes.
Can I have a rationale for why they are? Not just that there are 3?
Well,
They represent substantial footage.
so
I mean, one of them is almost half of what's required for a front yard setback.
Yes.
It's substantial.
another one is about a third, a little over a third.
Okay.
All right. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood?
No.
I think
You got water there, you got sidewalks, you got door,
they have heights, water and sewer. You do have,
sidewalk.
yeah,
Is the sidewalk heights or town?
that's
The heights. Right?
It's
Yep.
ambiguous. It's on Heights property. The prior owner paid to put it in.
Okay,
Okay,
And and most of it is on Heights property. There's a little piece that's on their property.
okay.
So
So water, sewer, and sidewalk.
okay, thank you.
And, the house is going to have to be built to today's
Yeah.
modern building
Yep,
code.
code, yep.
Right, update everything.
And we are going to require that there is going to be some sort of a proper drainage system there. And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, I mean, you can always say yes, because they want to build a house there.
A small building envelope.
So now let's discuss the conditions that we're going to put in there.
I think I'm going to use the Heights ones and modify them, and I'll type them up separately probably,
Okay.
and I can share this with you. So can we go through them, just tell me which ones to cross off based on what we spoke of? Unless you want to go through them one by one again, just really quickly.
Okay, I think, we thought that number one is between the HPOC and the applicant. 2 and 3, we decided that, for any change like that, they would have to come back to us, ZBA, right?
So those will not be conditions.
No. Number 4, the loft mezzanine should be eliminated. I thought we were going to not get involved with that either. The no further expansion within the setbacks. So that's number 5 there. We're just going to go within the setbacks.
Outside the setbacks.
In the setback.
Oh, within the setbacks.
Within the setback, yeah. Number 6, what do we decide on that?
No, that's not,
That's not our.
not getting involved in rentals
Yes.
agreements.
Number 7, the ample
Yes.
drainage, yes.
Yeah.
Number 8, the steps, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, yes. Number 10, no. Number 11, yes.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything to add to this here now? Punch?
Is there any, thing to say about
The parking spot.
Oh, the parking spot, okay.
One more parking spot to the northeast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything about,
According to Magellan over there.
yeah, anything about like the air conditioning condenser or anything like?
No, I mean, right now, it's, the way the code is that if the decibels are under a certain
Yeah.
amount,
Right.
and it's pressed up against the building, it's legit. I can only really see a couple of good places for it.
Okay.
There's a lot of porch there.
All right, Christina, I'll type these tomorrow and mail them to you. Okay.
Anybody have anything else? No? All right, I want to got a motion to close this meeting.
I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's it?
I have a question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, what about what happened to the other relief that they sought for 13317A1D?
Which relief is that?
That was discussed in the last meeting, and that was relief from the town code,
Oh,
because
Yeah.
it was the
the bulk.
accessory structure had on a lot that's not conforming, less than 3/4 of an acre.
So, yes, you are correct, Lori. We didn't include that. So may we reopen the meeting?
Still going. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to reopen the meeting here.
I'll make a motion to reopen the meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, so they were looking for relief from the bulk regulation. Is that correct, Lori?
Yeah, I can read it to you.
Thank you.
I have it here.
Better. You have it
This won't be a condition, though, will
What's that?
it?
you have it in minutes.
That's where it is. Yeah.
It says the lot shall conform to
Yep.
the area and rules regulations of the zoning district within which it is located, except that an accessory apartment may be sited on a legal non-conforming lot which contains no less than 75% of the district's lot area requirement exclusive of wetlands and land underwater.
Thank you. So I think that we should add in just one thing, and that is the relief from section 133-17A.
I'll take that piece of paper, but it's
Okay.
not a condition, is it? Isn't it more of like part of the variance
Just add
itself?
that to the resolution?
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Grant you the variance.
Okay,
Okay,
all right,
yeah, where is it?
all right, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I think maybe we need another motion. Okay,
Close the
so,
meeting.
no, another motion to grant relief from 133-17A.
Okay,
Is that correct? Yes. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that'll be part of our resolution.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, so
Thank you,
I'll
Laura.
send you those all tomorrow, okay?
Okay. Right now, I have a,
Any questions before we close?
anybody else?
Anything?
One general question.
Sure.
And you can tell me if this goes after or before you close. I totally understand that you are looking at the zoning code. From the Heights looks at a project, they're obviously looking at more things than just the zoning. And the conditions that we gave you, some of which you decided that probably wouldn't make sense for you to continue to put into the resolution. Had they not been put in, or had, with you not saying, going forward, should we ask for them because you're not going to? But what that might end up doing is having Heights not be supportive of a project.
Okay, so I would say this, Stella, this is probably not right now, not right now discussion, but we're happy to have the discussion with you. Because we'd like to maintain a nice, positive relationship with the HPOC. So we are open to discussing those things. And I think that some things that you guys have been putting forward make more sense for us than others. But we're happy to sort of hash that out with you. All right?
It doesn't take too much of our time to go through them individually, honestly, to say, so like you're not wasting our time by having them in there and then us just saying in 5 minutes, that's not our purview. I think that's probably better than you not including them if they're iffy. Does that make sense?
Okay, we can discuss it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
No? May I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.